Hello everybody, Kyle here. I'm going to do something a bit different today. I saw some news that McFarlane Toys revealed about, I think, almost 24 hours or so ago, and it was the news about their new DC Multiverse BvS, Batman vs. Superman, wave of figures. And I wanted to talk about them. I have a whole setup of photos to share and present to you guys. So I am going to first share one of the first images they released, which was this armored Batman. And as we can see, give me a second here to make sure everything's running correctly. Because I want to see, just make sure. I want to make sure. Let's see. Give me a second. I want to see how it looks. Okay, so it doesn't take up the full screen. Doesn't take up the full screen, but I guess we'll just have to work with it. So here we go. Essentially, just make sure. This is kind of hard. This is much harder to do than I assumed. I think it might be better if I did a slideshow. Let me just make sure to notify people that this is streaming live. And let's see. Make sure copy link. And I'm live right now discussing the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures. Okay. Here we go. So we have ourselves the armored Batman. The armored Batman that they have announced is a really, really exciting announcement for them, because I was kind of hesitant to buy the BvS Batfleck regular suit version. I'll kind of maybe show a picture of that one later on, but that version had some issues, I think, with the sculpt of the cowl. The head looked a bit too thin, and it's always been an issue with them when it comes to, I think, sculpting Batfleck. I feel like they, for some reason, they're able to get the mouth, they're able to get the chin, but the rest of the head they just can't seem to nail. And this has been a constant issue with like so many Batman figures from Mattel. I think the best one was probably Mezco's, if I remember. But I think Mattel actually got a bit better at the sculpt because Mattel ended up, from what I remember, with the Suicide Squad Batman, they kind of improved the sculpt of the cowl a bit more. But here we have the armored Batman suit. It's one of the best costume designs in the film and one of the best Batman costume designs. And the figure looks really great. It looks like they have a bendable wire cape. It looks like we have ourselves well, from there was a leak that came out, so the leak of the box showed that he comes with interchangeable hands, which are a good thing. It looks like one hand is more of a closed fist, the other hand is an open hand. Unfortunately, based on the leak, he does not seem to come with his kryptonite grenade launcher, and that's a really disappointing, I think, part about this figure, because the Mattel version did come with that grenade launcher. What's great about the grenade launcher is he actually can interchange it with the regular Batfleck figure, because he wears, well, he carries that in the final fight with Doomsday. So that I kind of wish they added. I believe McFarlane Toys has this thing about guns where they don't include too many weapons with their figures, and that's a shame because I feel like this Batman isn't complete without that. And it's also disappointing that this Batman doesn't come with the kryptonite spear, which would have been a great addition given that the Mattel figure didn't have that spear because they didn't want to spoil that in the movie. If this was a perfect world, and it never really is with McFarlane Toys, they would have included two head sculpts. They would have included this sculpt here, and they would have included a battle damage sculpt with half of Ben Affleck's face showing. Of course, it's not a perfect world with McFarlane Toys. They do not include interchangeable heads. In fact, you have to sometimes buy the same figure twice to get another head sculpt. They might do that with this here. We might get a battle damaged armored Batman down the road. I'd like to see it. But besides all of those gripes, I'm loving the look of this figure. I believe I've seen some people criticize that he doesn't really have a neck. I'm not too fussed about it. I feel like his suit itself does kind of take up most of the neck portion, so I don't think that's an issue. Would I've liked to see him come with double jointed elbows? Maybe, but once again, this is a bulkier figure, so they couldn't really do that without sacrificing some of the sculpt. But yeah, I think this figure is incredibly exciting to get. You know, I'm gonna switch to headphones because you might be hearing the computer the computer noises. So okay, we're back. I'm now using this mic. This mic's probably better. Um, let me just check for I want to just make sure that this is all working correctly. Let me just see this. The computer noises. So Okay, how do I sound? Okay, how do I sound? Okay. It works. So, yeah, I really think that this figure looks great. I am super enthused about it. I'm definitely going to pick it up when I find it. And okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's just make sure I'm not getting any comments. No comments, yeah, okay. So the next figure I want to share is let's see this. Do I have? Not that one. Yeah. So I want to get over this Wonder Woman. So this was, it was interesting to hear because they made a Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 1984 back in 2020. I have her right here. This Wonder Woman I thought was pretty good. I thought she had, I think, a good scope to her. But I think she had some issues. Obviously the legs are a little bit too long. I also think that the well, she came with a lasso of truth, but she lacked the accessories when the Justice League wave came out. And I think that was something that kind of hindered the figure in terms of a collection, because BvS, she has the sword and shield. In Justice League, she has a sword and shield. So when they had this Wonder Woman from 1984 and she didn't come with any swords or shields, it didn't look so good in a collection. Also, of course, because it's 1984, she had more of a brighter color palette to the figure. So it's really great to see this figure coming out. Probably is going to be a little bit darker looking than this one. Also, the hair sculpt was just not right. I mean, she is way like this is too light of a color. It should be a darker, at least black. So I think this figure looks great. I really love the shield. The shield looks fantastic. Mattel had the issue where for some reason they sculpted the shield eagle, or when not, was it a hawk? The bird that's on the shield was sculpted in the opposite direction on the Mattel figure back in 2016, and it bugged us to no end. Every collector that bought that figure had no idea why they did that. But yeah, this figure looks fantastic. I remember when they announced it, because they were announcing these like every hour or so. I don't think they announced them all at once. When they announced her and they had announced Armored Batman, I was like, oh my god, well, if they're making her, they might as well make a Doomsday. And I said this before I went to see Superman, the Christopher Reeve story in theaters. And sure enough, without a doubt, they announced the Doomsday figure. And I cannot tell you how excited I was to see this. I mean, I am basically making this podcast, or not podcast, this video
because of this figure and this figure alone. Because when I was collecting these guys back in 2016, when Mattel had the DC license, this guy was the one figure I wanted them to make. I wanted them to make this Doomsday. He should have been a Build-A-Figure. I don't care what people say. Oh, he looks like Abomination. He looks like, you know, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle from Michael Bay's movies. No, I don't. I didn't care. I thought this figure was sorely missing from the Mattel line, and not just that, but I really felt like he was. I mean, I like the design of Doomsday here. Yeah, it's not like the comics, but he does, I feel, look like what Doomsday would appear if he didn't have like the bone stuff coming out. He was just born. So I I love the Doomsday battle in BvS. So I was wanting for years for them to make this figure. And I cannot believe they actually did it. It's a perfect figure for the DC Multiverse line. I think that I would assume he would be a mega figure. However, they announced that he comes in a 2-pack with Superman. And we're seeing Superman right here. Now, they made Superman already in the DC Multiverse line by McFarlane Toys. They made 2 versions. They made one with him in the black suit, and they made one with him in his red and blue. The red and blue was unbelievably hard to find, being a Target exclusive, and I do remember they re-released him on the Target website. He sold out in minutes, so I never could find that version. Now, I have the black suited version, and the black suited version, I'll just show you here, is how do I, can I? No, I can't. Man, I wish I could swap the screens. Unless maybe I can. Hold on. Yeah, I can. Okay. So, this is the Justice League DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys Superman, Henry Cavill. And he is a pretty good figure. I would not say that the likeness is great. It's much better than some of the other Henry Cavill likenesses. But I really think that what kind of hinders this figure is, I mean, his cape is, it's sculpted nicely, but it is not cloth. And the same went for their Batman they made at the time, where they weren't giving them the cloth capes. And now they are, I think, improving with the bendy wire posable capes. And I think that is a really great upgrade for these figures. And I think the new Batfleck they've made comes with a not bendable wire, but a cloth cape. And this new Superman that is, that is going to be. I wonder if that's how I do it. Okay. Didn't know us the whole time. The new Superman looks to be very much utilizing that bendy wire. Now, what I really hope they do is I really hope that it's a new sculpt too, because I really hope we see a different sculpt for Henry Cavill. I'm wondering if they'll give us like wet sounds so wrong, but wet Henry Cavill with like the hair after he fights Batman in the rain. If that's the Henry Cavill we'll get, or if they'll just give us more of the same figure from what we had before, but with a different cape. I'm personally really looking forward to seeing what they do with like the display, because I mean, this could just be a trick of the camera. I don't know how much bigger this Doomsday figure is compared to this Superman. He's probably like twice his size, if we're being honest. And if he's twice his size, then they could probably find a way to fit him in the box, kind of like what they did with the Superman Doomsday 2-packs they've done before. They could maybe like scrunch up Superman, or not Superman, Doomsday. They could like make him crouch or something so he isn't as big in the package, and kind of works with the Superman in there. I doubt they will be coming with any accessories, but if it were me, I would give Superman the Kryptonite Spear. That would be a great accessory. I'm afraid by them not showing us Superman, I'm afraid it's not like I'm afraid the Kryptonite Spear isn't in his chest, and we're not dealing with like a battle damaged Superman figure, because I really want them to make, and they have made one, but like I want them to make a new Superman, normal, regular Henry Cavill figure. I feel like that would be great, but I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous why they're not showing Superman's face here. But once again, God, this Doomsday looks gorgeous. And like, if worse comes to worse, I would just buy this and I would put it in my Mattel collection, because I would assume that it might even scale better with the Mattel figures than it does with these McFarlane ones. So yeah, I can't wait for them to make this one. This made my day yesterday when I saw it. I've been waiting for them to make this since 2016. And I feel like if it was Hasbro, if it was a Marvel Legends line, they would have released this figure many years ago. But obviously they just, at least Mattel had the license till 2018, and the way they were working with these figures, they weren't exactly making like the figures after the movies came out. So like, I know I'm in the minority, but I really love Suicide Squad 2016, and I really wanted Mattel to make an Enchantress, and they never did. So yeah, I think this figure, I mean, this is why I'm making this video. I just want to gush about this figure, because I don't know many people that collect the DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys line. And I can't hop on Twitter Spaces to talk about it. So, oh God, it's so beautiful. I have so many more things to talk about here. So, let's go to the next picture, which is can I? Let's see. No, not this one. This one. So this guy, this was interesting. So I love that they made him. I love that they made Knightmare Batman. I think it's a really distinct look for Batman. He's become synonymous with the Snyder Cut and, that universe. I will say that given McFarlane Toys' track record with guns, I don't think this figure is coming with any accessories besides the ones in this picture. And that is really disappointing because I don't think. I mean, you're gonna have to find another gun to give him or something because this figure doesn't work the same without weapons. I think the sculpt here might be a bit better than the one from before they made for Batfleck. The goggles, they look all right. I mean, I like to see binoculars. That's pretty cool, but I just wish they gave him some weapons. Whether it be a pistol or his assault rifle that he carries in the movie. So I don't know how this figure is going to sell. I think that it's great they're making him. You can customize him with your own weapons, but I do wish he came with more accessories. I'm happy they're making him though, because I think that looks good in a collection for BvS / Justice League. So that's pretty cool. Oops, not the wrong one. Hold on. I don't know how do I. Oh, that's funny. What is that? I don't even know what I just hit. That's funny. So let me see what else. What other? So those are like the 4 or 5 figures that they revealed in this DC Multiverse wave. But I do want to mention that, as I said before, Mattel made a I actually don't think I said this, but basically, this was Mattel's Doomsday. And I want this figure. I want this. I would buy this guy. The problem is, I never saw him anywhere. I don't know where this figure was released, because if you look him up online, like, there are very few sellers that have this toy. I don't know what this guy was. I guess he was made in a Justice League line a year later. Yeah, so once again, I mean, it's their, I think, the hero class. It's for younger kids. It's not really that detailed. The articulation is minimal. There isn't really much for them to do with this figure, but this was the Mattel Doomsday. But not made for their Multiverse line. So, I mean, I'm finally glad we're getting a Doomsday. I think that we are in dire need of one. And then I want to showcase. So, this Batman is the current Batman that's available. I am going to have to hunt for this guy now. I didn't get him when he first came out a couple months ago. And you know what? I regret it because I did not think they'd make more of the BvS figures. And I was like, you know what? I have my Batflex. The DCU's coming. They're probably going to stop making these. Had my issues with this figure. Obviously, I think that head is just way too thin for, Ben Affleck. It does not look like the way, like, the cowl looked back in the movie. I mean, even you can tell in the box there. His grapple gun is not painted at all. He comes with batarangs, but I gotta get this figure now because once that wave comes out, I want to have the Trinity posed together facing off Doomsday, and I don't care. I don't care whether this guy's head sculpt is completely off. See, I can understand Mattel because they're going off of concept pictures, but this is literally the movie came out 8 years ago. Come on. It can do better than this, but I remember I was so happy that they made him, and I was disappointed with the head sculpt, but I'm gonna have to buy him now. And he's going up in price a bit. He's no longer on Amazon for his standard retail price, so I think I got to pick him up before the, I don't know if you call them scalpers these days, but before the scalpers start to get this guy for their collection. Now, I think I showed. Did I show you? Yeah, I showed you guys. I showed you guys this guy, but this was the Batfleck figure made by McFarlane Toys for their Justice League line. All right, and they made 2 versions. In fact, I think they made 3 versions. They made one version with his goggles on, which was the standard retail release. They made another version, I think it was a premium version, with his goggles off, and that was impossible to find. I never could find him. He's worth a lot of money now. And then they made a version, I believe, with a Ben Affleck head sculpt, and I don't remember where that figure was sold. I think it was a Walmart exclusive, for all we know. But Hasbro, or not Hasbro, McFarlane Toys. Oh boy. Apologies, my computer is in really bad shape. But yeah, McFarlane Toys made this figure, and I don't know, like I feel like they nailed the Batman they made for Justice League, but I don't think they nailed this one. So we'll have to see. Now, because I don't want to okay, so I want to talk about maybe the future of the line. So I would love what's going on here. Made yeah, I would love if they made more Justice League figures like Joker. I think I would love to see a Jared Leto Joker in this line. We got Heath Ledger's Joker. We're getting Joaquin's Joker. Still waiting for them to make Jack Nicholson's Joker. That would be a great figure. Hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah. So, as I said, I would love to see them make more Justice League figures. This Joker would be great. I mean, I would love to see Joker from Suicide Squad done, but I just don't know, which version they would make. Now, speaking of Suicide Squad, I think a lot of people here. Oh boy, how do I? That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, so speaking of Suicide Squad, I would love to see McFarlane Toys do a Suicide Squad wave. Now, of course, they've done the Suicide Squad, but I would love to see this done. Mattel, in what I consider to be one of their best waves, not because it did well, because I believe it did very poorly, but the fact that Mattel had the balls to make a Suicide Squad wave with all of these characters in it and sell it at retail, like Walmart, I think Target sold it. I don't know if Target sold it. And Toys R Us, like, oh, it was such a great time. But I would love to see them make a Will Smith Deadshot. Once again, they probably won't give him any weapons, so I don't really know how that would work, but I would still love to see a Deadshot. I would love to see maybe a Killer Croc, Rick Flag, Katana. I mean, and like, say they do release this Air Cut, in the future, maybe they will make these guys. But I have to say, I want DC, I want McFarlane Toys to finally give us an actual perfect Harley Quinn by Margot Robbie, because I thought their Harley for the Suicide Squad was really disappointing because they didn't get the color of her skin correct. Like, they gave her just regular skin, and that's not her skin color in the movie. She, falls into that acid and has a really pale complexion, and that figure, I mean, the figure's great and all, but man, they messed up with that coloring. Then they made the Birds of Prey Margot figure, which was a significant step up, and she's actually a really nice toy, but I would love to see this version. Now, I know I don't know, like, I've seen people talk about, the issues they have with this costume, but it still is a pretty iconic Harley Quinn costume. So that would be a really cool figure, I think, for them to make. So I don't know. I don't know if they would do this, if they would continue the line. I say the line like it's a movie verse line, but I mean, they're making Batman Forever waves. They're making Batman Robin waves. I mean, I can't believe they made a Batman and Robin wave for Multiverse. I mean, that's crazy. And I wish I could buy them, but they were pretty hard to find. And at this point, I will be honest, I have not been collecting much of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line in the past year. One of them being, usually I collect them with movie waves. I've really kind of managed my collecting to now only collecting movie waves. I don't collect comic waves, and there hasn't been a DC movie out since Aquaman 2, so really, and then of course Joker 2, but still they didn't make Joker 2 figures. And I didn't even buy the Aquaman 2 figures. It's the first time a DC Multiverse wave released, and I didn't buy any figures from that wave. One of the reasons being I thought the wave was pretty crappy. I didn't care for how Aquaman only had one open hand to hold his trident. And I mean, the Black Manta figure looked amazing. I wanted to buy him, but I didn't. I'm gonna have to check to see, maybe they're on deep clearance now. I hope they are. But yeah, like, I think that if they're exploring BvS, why not Suicide Squad? Then again, Suicide Squad, I would love for them to make all of these guys, because that is like the team at the end. And of course, I'd love to see an Enchantress, but that might be too hard for them to do. Be very curious if they ever make an Amanda Waller. Doubt it. But they have made Michael Guff's Alfred, so it's possible. Also, since we're talking about Suicide Squad, I'm still waiting for them to make a Ratcatcher 2 from the Suicide Squad. They need to complete the team. They need to give us a a Ratcatcher 2 Daniela Melchior figure. So I'm waiting for them to do that. And I mean, yeah, I think that I would love to see Suicide Squad. I'd love to see them go into that. I would also love to see oh, do I not have the oh wow, I don't think I have the DC collectibles. Oh, I might not have the image. Oh man. Well, we tried. We tried. I don't think I have the image. Oh man, that's a shame. Did I cover all the ones here? Well, that's a real oops, wrong one. Let's see. So this is the only picture. So speaking of Superman, because this is the only picture I have, I want them to make a Man of Steel wave. And what would be really interesting is, with Superman coming out next year, James Gunn's Superman, I do wonder if like the interest in Superman starts to rise, that they would kind of explore other screen Supermans. So my idea for a Man of Steel wave is that I would love to see Superman. I would love to see Jor-El. I would love to see General Zod, Feora, and Namek. I think that would be a perfect wave. If they even wanted to do a Build-A-Figure, I would make the Build-A-Figure Namek. Like I'm just salivating at the idea of this, because DC Collectibles back in the day, I think around like 2016, they were originally going to do this line, and they made two figures. They made Armored Batman and Superman, but they were going to make more figures around that scale, about the same scale as these guys, and we were going to get a new General Zod, Feora, I think Namek, Jor-El, and I could not wait for those figures, because Man of Steel is pretty much like my favorite of the DCEU movies, and I love those costumes. Mattel made them. They did their best, but they didn't quite live up to, I think, the potential. And man, a Man of Steel line made today. Oh, I would hope, I don't know how they do it, but I really hope they'd include the helmets on the Kryptonians. But, oh, that'd be amazing. They could make obviously Christopher Reeve Superman. Maybe Terrence Stamp General Zod. Maybe they would make the other Kryptonians from Superman 2. I don't know. I don't know how far they could do that, but I'd like to see that type of wave if they ever came up with that. I would love to see a Brandon Routh Superman made by McFarlane Toys, and I think they could, like, there are possibilities that they could do more Supermans. Obviously, next year is going to be the line for Superman, for James Gunn's Superman. I'm like saving my money for that because I'm gonna buy everything. I would love if they made Lois Lane. They don't really make a lot of Lois figures. But probably they'll make Superman, Lex Luthor, and they'll make obviously Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. So they'll make those figures, but I can't wait for that line. But I'm just like, what really excites me, I've been talking a while, but what really excites me is I just like how McFarlane Toys is willing to go back into the well of these DC movies and make these figures. I would buy the Dark Knight trilogy figures in a heartbeat, but unfortunately they were impossible to find. I do wish I bought one back in the day when I saw one at GameStop. Did I see the Joker at GameStop? I can't remember. I think I saw Batman. I saw Batman, I saw Two-Face, and I saw Scarecrow at GameStop, and I didn't buy them. Scarecrow still sold at one of the stores around me, but God, I die for a Christian Bale Batman from McFarlane Toys, which they've released him twice now, and I've missed him out both times. But yeah, I really love the idea of these figures. Man, I can't just look at this Doomsday. God. I know no one's gonna want to hear it, but if they made the brother from Suicide Squad, man, I would buy him. I would buy him. Oh, we have a viewer. We have a viewer, Ray Sokas. Ray Sokas. Thanks for watching, Ray Sokas. Yeah. Thank you very much. I don't know how long you've been watching for, but I've been talking about these figures. This Doomsday from Batman versus Superman. We got ourselves, we got this Batman. We got this Wonder Woman. And we don't got that. We got this Batman. These guys were announced yesterday. And it's very exciting because it is an 8-year-old movie that they are now making toys again for. I have these guys from Mattel, because Mattel had the license. But this guy was never made by the same Mattel line of figures that I have. So this guy is a really I just am really happy that they're making him, because it's just crazy that they never, after I want to say a good 3 years, well, actually 2 years of Mattel having the license, they never made him. Now, they did make a Doomsday figure that was from the comics, which I had, and he kind of was like my stand-in. But oh man, I'm just really, really happy that they you're very welcome. I love your content. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those are sick. Yes, they are. This is the original Doomsday Mattel made. Their their kid line. As you can see, Hot Toys and Sideshow Collectibles will never, ever come close to the sculpt on this guy. I mean, just look at this Henry Cavill, right? Just look at that Henry Cavill. Oh, man. That's an amazing recreation of your face. How do you know what my face looks like, Ray Sokus? I'm a little bit concerned. I don't know. I don't know. But let me see this. So, have I discussed everything I was going to discuss here? Yeah, so these are Mattel's. I think I have. These guys were the original Mattel figures of Armored Batman, so you can compare this Armored Batman one and this Armored Batman. I actually really love this figure. I really love that Armored Batman figure on the left. He came with a gun. The new version does not come with a gun. The one on the right was not exactly Ben Affleck's Batman, but they did their best. They went off I'm particularly more lenient when it comes to when these, companies make these figures and they go off based off of the concept art, because like I think we've seen this with I'll just give an example of Wicked, the new Wicked line of dolls they have out. The Elphaba doll has like a shade of purple that just doesn't look screen accurate, but that is probably because they had to base the doll off of the concept art. And that's why we don't get it to look exactly like it, because they're making these toys in like a year and a half span. So they'll change it, as it goes along. That being said, the Armored Batman here, on the left, like I'm still shocked how great of a job they did on that figure, given that this figure came out 8 years ago. The one on the right, though, was a situation of concept art issues where the cowl wasn't that accurate. The color of the suit is way too bright. That's why if you look at this guy, they kind of fixed the color a bit better. But as I said earlier in the stream, I don't like this head. I don't like this head. So, yeah, but I think, and another issue I had was that this guy here, this Armored Batman, doesn't come with a gun. He doesn't come with any weapons, because McFarlane Toys, the company behind these figures, doesn't like to give their figures weapons or guns or anything, any firearms whatsoever. So when you have Mattel making figures back in 2016, they give him the gun. It was only reasonable that they would give this guy a gun, but nope, it's McFarlane Toys. And as I've said before, there is no perfect world when it comes to McFarlane. But I have to applaud McFarlane for giving us this guy, because I did not think this guy would be made. It was a fever dream I had, and sure enough, we got him. And I would like for them to make more. I don't know if they will, because James Gunn's Superman movie is coming out soon. So yeah, we have that. Okay, so I'll check the stream chat now. So let's see. I'm a stalker. Well, that's not good. Hey, hey Amber, how are you doing? Yeah, it's fun to see someone I know here. Yeah. Wicked looks mid. How do I block Ray Sokas from this chat for hate speech? Hold on. What's happening here? You know what's cool? I don't know if you guys know this, but I can pull up your chat. Wait, can I? I don't know. I thought I could. Why can't I do it? Oh yeah, I can. See? Look at this. Strolling the neighborhood and taking you guys with me. Let's see. I'm going to use this DC knowledge I've picked up on this stream today. And when that day comes, I'm going to PayPal you a couple bucks. You're funny. I don't want to be perceived. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, I think I brought some other. I was gonna show my other guys. I got I got this Aquaman, right? So this is the same line of figures. This is Jason Momoa. Yeah, this guy. I don't know. He's all right. Looks like him. What do you guys think? Does it look like him? Then we have. See, Cyborg they made. They made a great Cyborg. This was great. Like, I think once, I think Amber, you saw my Sauron once, and you're like, "Is that a figure?" I was like, "Yeah." This is another one where you look at him and you're like, "Oh boy, like, this is a really great sculpt." Yeah. They have this Flash. The problem with this Flash is that he has no paint on his wiring. An absolute disappointment. The figure's actually really nice. Like, his thing can go up and he can do the Flash poses. But why didn't they paint The wires frustrates me. And obviously I showed the Wonder Woman I had. Pretty good. This is the Henry Cavill Superman. They made, as I said earlier in the stream, they made two versions. They made a black suit version, which was the standard retail version, and then they made the one I wanted, which was the red and blue, but he was a Target exclusive and unbelievably hard to find. And then I love this this Batfleck was pretty good. Like, that is a good on Ben Affleck. But yeah, so those are the ones. The yes, the detail is amazing. That is really the thing with McFarlane Toys. They are really great when it comes to detail, because like if you look at this Superman, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you can look at the lining of his suit. You can actually see the lining there, the texture. I mean, it's incredible. And like even his boots are detailed. Like, it's a really great job they've done with these guys. They all have their issues. Like, I think with Aquaman here, like, his trident is just very much a silver standard piece. It doesn't really look that good, but is that something you do yourself? Are you for customizing your figures? Not really, to be honest. So there are some times where I have tried that. I'm trying to think of. I remember when She-Hulk came out. I don't know if I guess you could call this. Yeah, it was. I customized when She-Hulk came out. I actually like made Hulk's tank top, and I made a tank top out of. I'm not gonna say what it was out of. Well, it was out of paper towels. Shh. But I made a tank top, and I put it on Hulk, and I gave Hulk a tank top like he has in the show. I think I also made an outfit for my Daenerys, because in season 6 they released some figures. Well, season 8 they were released, but they were based on the season 7 looks. And season 8, she has gorgeous like white, like snowy dress outfit on, and like the figure they made wasn't like that. That was a season 7 more Targaryen look. So I gave her one, like I gave her like her own like her own like gown out of paper towels. But it was fun. I've also, so the way they make some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they don't like to make some of them with eyes. They give them just white eyes, because in the comics that's the way they looked. So I got like was it either a colored pencil or something, and I just colored in some pupils in the figures. So in terms of customizing, that's, I think, how far I've gone with them. But like with the Flash here, I wouldn't really bother giving them. But man, like I've seen people online, like I've seen the Star Wars Black Series, the way they've customized some of those figures. But let's see. The texture is really good. Okay, yeah, so you have the McFarlane, you have the Mattel version, which Um, um, I'm very curious which version you have because they made three. They made three Mattel Henry Cavills. The the first one looks like Mark Ruffalo, but it is the best looking Henry Cavill Mattel figure. The second one looks kind of like Henry Cavill, but it's not. And the third one looks like an Auton from Doctor Who. So, like, I don't really think Mattel was that great when it came to those sculpts, but I enjoyed them. Let me see more comments. Oh no, she says I don't know what it actually is. Can I see pics later? Of course you can see pics. Let's see. The 3D printed realistic Tamora Morrison sculpts that people do for the Clone Black series. Awesome. Yeah, they are. They really are. I think one of the Instagram people I follow, I think it's Landspeeder Luke. He does a couple and they look amazing. I really love what they did with the Poe and Finns. Now, don't get me started on my Black Series Finn and Poe rants, but this guy customized them to actually give us not just Rise of Skywalker, but actual like photorealistic John Boy Oscar Isaac sculpts, which is great. I customized my Sonic screwdriver once, but that was a real change. How did you customize it? Ooh, you have some Black Series figures from Force Awakens. I have every Black Series figure from Force Awakens. I even have the ginormous Black Series TIE Fighter from the Force Awakens, which I got for like $50. It cost like 150 or 100, I think 180, almost 200. And it is like the size of, it's like half the size of a refrigerator. And the thing about that is once you attach the wings, the the wings don't come off, or at least one of them doesn't come off. So you can't like put it back in the box once you open it. So right now it's in my garage. It's terrible. I hate that they did that. Let's see. I think I only have Finn and Rey. The Finn is actually a really good figure. The problem with the Black Series Finn is that once again dealing with concept art, his jacket is completely inaccurate. Like the color is the wrong color. In the movie, it's more of a brown, but in the toy, it looks more yellow. It's really disappointing. And I think that the Rey is also kind of disappointing, but I'm a fan of that Rey. But let's see. Unfortunately, I gotta go. Have fun. Thank you for joining, Ray Sokas. I didn't make it. Don't yell at me. I didn't make it. Don't yell at me. Um, yes. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. Ta-ta. Um, yeah, so I'm just Amber, I don't know if you heard much earlier of what I was talking about, but there were a bunch of figures they announced. I was very happy to see some of them announced. And that's why I did this stream. For the past hour, I've been talking about these specific pictures, and it's been a lot of fun because I've been able to talk about it, have an outlet to talk about it, because there aren't too many collectors of these specific guys on like spaces. So I don't think that I think I was talking to Louis, one of our mutuals on Twitter. I don't know if you know him, but we once did a Twitter Spaces about Blue Beetle McFarlane figures. Just to show you, since you're here, these were some of the ones that they showcased. They showcased. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure, because I think I messed it up. They showcased this guy, which was Doomsday from Batman vs Superman. They showcased this guy, which is Knightmare Batman from Batman vs Superman. Showcased Wonder Woman. Big thing with her, she comes with a shield and sword. Not the right video. And they showcase this guy, Armor Batman. Great figures. Also, the Doomsday, he comes in a 2-pack with this Superman. And they're not showing you his face. I'm a little concerned, but they're going to make Superman from Batman vs. Superman too. So that's going to be really cool. And they've already made this guy, this Batman, which I have to find. Came out a couple months ago. I didn't expect them to make more, and they did. So now I have all these figures I got to buy. Yeah, so those are the Multiverse figures. These are the Mattel versions. So as you can compare, these are McFarlane. This is Mattel. So I think that looks really, really good. Yeah, you should. Let's see. Actually, terrible. I'm also, so this is StreamYard. Okay. This is StreamYard, where I can basically do my live videos. I've only done like 2. One time was more of a test, and the other time was actually, it's on my channel, was a review of the Dark Knight that I did with a couple of people. But this is like the one way I can do a YouTube video, and it's a live stream. So I can see the comments, I can pull the comments up, I can show screens from my phone or my computer, which is really great. I can these up. I should do a space movie. Yeah, you can do that. I watch I cannot show my whole collection. It would be impossible. By the way, StreamYard is free. It's free. And also, I don't know, am I able to... Oops. Okay. No. I think I'm able to invite people. I can bring people on to talk. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. I always feel funny about going on live on Instagram because, like, I have so many, friends that could just pop in. Say, ooh, what's Kyle doing on Instagram? That's the one thing I don't like about Instagram is, like, when you're on a live stream, it will say that this person has joined. And, like, I just want to see the video. Like, I don't want to join and then boom. Oh, hey, Marie joined your Instagram account, or Ben has joined your Instagram video. I'm like, oh no. But I've never gone live on Facebook actually. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Yeah, but yeah, I think I might end this now. I didn't even think anyone would show up, to be honest. I was like, I'm just gonna do this stream. I've had fun. Lolo had a really good live stream. I haven't been on lately, but maybe in the future. But yeah, I didn't expect people were gonna join on here. I was only gonna do this for like maybe like 40 minutes, and then I started keep talking. And I was like, oh, I have some more things to say, and then boom, I see, you know, you guys joined. I was like, oh my goodness, I have an audience. I'm famous. But okay, so you gotta go. Oh boy, it's freezing. Okay, well, thank you for joining. I might do this again sometime. I don't know if I'll have any news like this. That'll get me excited like this. But anyway, thank you for joining, and I'll talk to you later. Have a nice day. Bye bye.